In 2019, when Tata Motors rolled out its first electric car for personal buyers, its competitor and India's largest automaker Maruti Suzuki was still reluctant. It was betting on small cars and hybrids. And in September last year, Maruti chairman R.C. Bhargava said in an interview to a business website, electric vehicles will not become a major product in the market, and the reason is that the small car component of the total market is still very large, at around 70% or so. It is not going to be very easy for electric vehicles to penetrate. At the 2020 Auto Expo in Delhi, Maruti surprised everyone by announcing it would not bring out an electric car. In contrast, Tata Motors was clearly bullish and was banking on multiple EV offerings. Maruti's logic was based on what it saw as the nature of the Indian market, which was dominated by small cars, where affordability was key. According to Maruti, a viable small EV would have to be priced at 8 lakh rupees at most. The state of battery technology in 2020 did not allow that. Back then, Bhargava had also said that in order to reach reasonable volumes, EV batteries would have to be made in India. Eventually, Maruti Suzuki decided to bet on hybrids instead of EVs as part of its green mobility shift. Even in August last year, Bhargava made a strong pitch to the government for incentivizing the use of alternative technologies like hybrids, CNG, ethanol, and biogas for small and affordable cars. This would give consumers in what he called the Bharat market an alternative to costlier EVs. Bhargava's logic was that there were two markets in India: the Bharat market for affordable small cars and a developed market for bigger cars costing up to 25 lakh rupees. Bhargava had also advocated a cut in the goods and services tax on hybrids, as in the case of electric cars, to bring down the former's price to affordable levels. The view that EVs were not the immediate answer to reducing India's carbon emissions had put Bhargava at odds with many of the world's largest car makers, except Toyota, which also saw hybrids as the logical interim step before shifting to pure EVs. However, coming into 2023, Maruti appears to have become more optimistic about EVs. It will launch its first EV next financial year and will roll out 5 more in India by FY30, according to its parent Suzuki. EVs will constitute 15% of Maruti's total production by that year, hybrids 25%, and internal combustion engine-based vehicles 60%. Maruti will launch an electric SUV in FY24. It will be based on the EVX, the concept electric SUV unveiled at Auto Expo 2023. So, why has Maruti finally jumped on the EV bandwagon?
No, I think if you take what Mr. Bhargav said, the context of when Mr. Bhargav said it, it was before the PLI schemes were announced for both the advanced cell chemistry and for EVs. So the context in which he sent it is actually changed. Second, the electric vehicle market, although small in numbers, but it's growing at 484%. So like earlier when Maruti was not in the diesel segment, and when the diesel segment started growing, they came into the diesel segment, or earlier, they were not in the CNG segment. When the CNG segment started growing, they came into the CNG segment. So I think it's a response to how the market dynamics are shaping up, and they found areas in the market where they feel that they're now competitive. And you're also seeing new concepts like battery as a service come in, or other concepts coming in. So the vehicles have become more stable, the technology has become more robust, standards have been put in. So I think the whole ecosystem is evolving at a significantly fast pace, and there's enough space for Maruti as the market stands today.
With alternate fuels, taking mainstream these days, Maruti has also decided to move into alternate fuels. They've spoken about EVs, but they've also spoken about, product variants in the CNG sector. I think what they were trying to do is see the maturity curve and then act accordingly. They would have done their internal analysis to figure out maturity at what time in terms of volume, etc. And they believe the timing is right now, and that's why they've gone after it.
Maruti's share of India's domestic passenger vehicle market has fallen from slightly more than 50% in 2019-20, and it may be somewhat late to the party, with Tata Motors dominating the Indian EV market at present with an 85% share. However, Maruti still has considerable size and scale. It had the largest passenger car market share across the country in 2022 at 46%, with Hyundai coming a distant second, followed by Tata Motors. The Indian EV market is also set for greater competition. This year, Chinese-owned British brand MG Motor and China's biggest EV maker BYD are looking to acquire a one-third share of the market. But since retail sales of EVs accounted for less than 5% of total automobile sales in 2022, Maruti still has time to make its mark. So, what will be the impact of Maruti's entry into the Indian EV market and its competitors?
So I think if you look at the market and any new entrants entering into the market, two things happen. One, the market size increases. Two, relative shares actually decrease. But what happens in both the cases, growth rates of companies who are already in the market don't substantially take a hit going forward. So it's not a replacement market, it's a plus market. Yes, as the market matures, if Maruti had not been there, obviously their percentage share would have been distributed amongst the other operators or other OEMs. But I think this is a welcome choice for the consumer and a great step forward for the Indian electric vehicle industry.
Maruti is the leader in the passenger vehicle segment. So them moving into EVs with the reach that they have across the country, with the number of dealers they have, the existing number of customers they have, etc., it'll actually get the inflection point for EVs much quicker with players like Maruti in it, and it could actually be potentially be helpful to other players as well, as the adoption of EVs will be looked at in a sense that across different passenger cars, everybody is jumping into it, and the ecosystem development will take place much faster. So I guess it's a win-win for all.
Clearly, Maruti's entry into the electric passenger car market is a positive development for the EV ecosystem, and also the likes of Tata and Mahindra. But their collective future could still depend on how they meet the increased competition from ambitious Chinese players which enjoy their own scale and deep pockets.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.